Hello, Internet. The third character feature episode will be on King from Tekken. King is actually two different people who together have made this character appear in every mainline Tekken game. Based on fan translations provided at the Tekken Zaibatsu forums, King takes care of orphans and is a Mexican wrestler who wears a jaguar mask. In his past, he too was an orphan and taken care of by a charitable person. He enters the first tournament to win money for the orphanage. His story is also connected to Armor Kings. That profile states that King accidentally crushed one of Armor King's eyes during a match, and that Armor King is entering the tournament to destroy King and take over the wrestling world. King's Tekken 1 ending shows him standing outside the orphanage as the bells toll. Then children run out to happily greet him. From the Tekken 2 profiles, we find that Armor King and King had battled intensely during Tekken 1, but now respect each other as friends. However, King has become an alcoholic. Armor King tells King of the upcoming Tekken 2 tournament, and King enters to regain his self-respect and for the trust of the children. His Tekken 2 ending shows King standing outside the orphanage in the snow at Christmas. He shakes his head and starts to walk away, leaving several wrapped gifts on the ground. The children then run after him and start jumping around him, and King smiles. Tekken 3 is when King's role shifts to a new person. King 1 had been killed, and so someone raised in his orphanage has become his successor, King 2. King 2 was incapable of fulfilling the role, but Armor King felt obligated to prepare him for revenge on King 1's killer. After 4 years, Armor King tells King 2 of how Ogre was responsible for King 1's death. King 2 now knows his purpose in life. His Tekken 3 ending shows King wrestling in the ring with Armor King watching. He finishes victorious, but rushes off when he doesn't see Armor King and finds Armor King sitting with his head bowed as if something is wrong. In Tekken 4, Armor King has been murdered by Craig Marduk. King swears revenge and arranges for Marduk's release with money he earned from wrestling. He also sends a plane ticket and an article about the Tekken 4 tournament. In his ending, King visits Marduk in the hospital. He prepares to strike, but pauses when he sees a picture of Marduk and two other people, I'd guess his parents. King decides not to carry through on his revenge and leaves. In Tekken 5, King's profile confirms that he defeated Marduk and decided against revenge after following him to the hospital. Later, Marduk challenges King to a rematch wearing the black jaguar mask, which is what Armor King used to wear. Determined not to let Marduk disgrace his mentor, King enters the Tekken 5 tournament. During his interludes, King receives a lecture from Julia, determined to stop him. After defeating her, King threatens Marduk to be next. Then later, when facing and defeating Marduk as well, Marduk concedes that King has won. King offers his hand to help Marduk up, and the two look at each other with mutual respect. King's meeting with Jinpachi is the default generic one shown for most characters. King appears in Marduk's story interludes as well, the main difference being that Marduk gloats after he wins. King's Tekken 5 ending shows him in the ring and teaming up with Marduk. In Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection, Namco brought back the Armor King character. King appears in Armor King's ending, confused at what he sees since Armor King was murdered. Upon asking the person who he is, King is kicked and drilled into the ground and then left behind. In Tekken 6, both King's and Marduk's profiles confirmed they fought during Tekken 5. King won and they had become friends. Armor King ambushed Marduk afterwards, and King chased after him but was unable to find him. When the next tournament is announced, King enters to help Marduk find this new Armor King. The three characters have crossover endings with each other in Tekken 6. In King's, he looks at a picture of Armor King, drops it, and finds a picture of two Armor Kings. Marduk is shown digging up an Armor King's grave, and upon seeing what's inside, turns around to ask then, who is the Armor King standing now? King arrives at the scene, and the other Armor King explains that he too is Armor King, and the one that Marduk killed was his brother. He points to Armor King, swearing to never forgive him. As for my own opinion, while making this video, I have to say I thought this character was really boring. Aside from making this video, I'm usually indifferent. Don't like him, don't hate him. I don't find his design particularly good or bad. I don't really care much about his story or find it all that interesting. I thought it was at its best in his Tekken 4 ending. That was a good display of a decision by a character that reflected who that character was, and it showed a resolution to a story. You don't see that often in Tekken. For his moveset, when I play, there's a batch of characters that, if I'm choosing on random, I'd rather not get. And then there are other characters I hardly ever use, but wouldn't mind getting. King's on the border of those choices. Sometimes he's in one group and sometimes he's in the other. That's pretty much all I have to say for him. So, thanks for listening and watching.